Hi everybody, and welcome back to Box Cake Beauties, where we take your average box cake mix and upscale it with new ingredients and flavors. Today I'm going to be showing you how I upscale white cake into banana cake, and today we're going to be adding some cranberries for a little added flavor. Let's go. So let's get started on this banana cranberry cake. As usual, I am doing my hack whereby the recipe calls for 3 eggs, but I'm actually using 2 eggs plus a quarter cup of yogurt. And as I said, it works quite the treat, and you don't actually miss the extra egg. So this is one way that you can save your eggs. If you happen to have plain yogurt, plain flavored yogurt around, you can add a quarter cup, and that works just as well as an egg. Next up, we have a bowl here with some crushed bananas. I crushed 2 small bananas, and also we have half a cup of vegetable oil as per the recipe on the back of the box, and also have some dried cranberries, which tend to be sweeter and don't have that bitterness that raw cranberries do. So we're going to start by whipping up our eggs and yogurt mix here. Next up, we've got our half a cup of vegetable oil. It is always best to use an oil that doesn't have its own flavor. So olive oil, for example, would be too strong flavor for a cake like this. Giving it a good whisk with my hand whisk. And now I'm adding 3 small crushed bananas. I don't think you can go with more than that for this particular batter. You could do 2 large bananas, or as I said, 3 small ones, but more bananas adds too much moisture to this particular cake mix, and it will take a long time to cook, and you risk it being raw on the inside when it's cooked on the outside. So I would say no more than 3 very small bananas or 2 large ones. And next, of course, we're going in with our box cake mix. This one I'm using the super moist white, so that it really gives it a good platform for the banana flavor to really come through. It's not competing with any of the flavors that might come in the mix itself. One of the reasons that I add in a little bit at a time and then whisk it is I find that it helps to avoid lumps in your batter. I just tried to beat it for just about 10 to 15 seconds each, because you don't want to overwork your batter and build up gluten, which would make your cake tough. So you just want to do it for about, like I said, about 10, 15, 20 seconds, and just give it a reasonable whisk so that you don't end up with lumps in your batter. If you add in all of the mix at once, you will end up with a very lumpy batter with lots of little lumps, and it can take a long time to get the lumps out, and you risk overworking your cake mix, your cake batter. So now that we have our mix all done and we have it as lump-free as possible, we can talk about adding in our flavor ingredients. So banana bread tends to, or banana cake flavors tend to go very well with things like nuts. So you'll probably notice a lot of banana cake or banana bread recipes allow you to add in things like walnuts or pecans or other types of nuts and other ingredients. Here I'm using cranberries because I like the sort of combo of tart and sweet that dried cranberries add to your recipe. I've also added raisins on occasion, and sometimes also chocolate chips, and you could use either milk chocolate chips or white chocolate chips or dark chocolate chips depending on your preference. I know the kids would definitely enjoy banana and chocolate chips, so there you go. I would say that I put in about a cup 3/4 of a cup to a cup of cranberries. I didn't really measure it out. I just went by how it looked in the batter and make sure that there was a good distribution. Of course, our bundt tin here has been pre-oiled, pre-greased to make it easier to get the slices out later on, to get the cake out later on. And we will bake according to the instructions on the recipe box, which is approximately 25 to 26 minutes in that style of cake tin. Depending on how hot your oven runs, it may be a minute more or a minute less. You just test with a smooth toothpick or a skewer to make sure that no crumbs or no wet batter is coming away on your skewer when you test it. And of course, that's how you'll know that your cake is ready, is when you've got no more wet batter coming out on your skewer or your tester.
And let's see what we've got. Our banana cake is fresh out of the oven. And the one thing I did forget to do was to toss the cranberries in a little bit of flour. So of course they all sort of sank to the bottom, but that's okay. They're still in there and they're giving it a great sweet and yet tart little edge to it. Great banana flavor, and of course goes great with your tea. Thank you so much for joining me on today's Box Cake Beauties. If you're having a bit of a rough week, I just want to share a word of encouragement with you, which will be coming up after our video here. And I just want to say thank you for joining me. And please let me know if you try this recipe or if you've got other ways of upscaling your box cake mix. Thank you. Have a great day.